Hello everyone, this is Persephone and I apologize in advance. This video is going to have a trigger warning because it's going to be traumatic for a very big percentage of the men who are going to watch it. But I have to make it because recently I came across probably the most tragic human being I've seen in a very long time on Reddit, a man who was in his 40s, and I decided it's time for the truth. So every day at this point I'm being contacted by men in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, especially American men, and I'm going to emphasize in the American status a bit, not because I'm racist, I don't have any racism or any hate or any ill will towards anyone, but because I've noticed that America destroys males and millennials in a very sick way. It destroyed them growing up to much more often than you see in Europe or in Asia or in other countries. But we're going to take things from the very beginning. The question that I get is, why am I trying and I never get any women to notice me or to love me or to want to date me while XYZ person is doing better than me? And that doesn't have a one reason answer, but you can see a pattern if you keep observing. So I'm going to start from your childhood, and this is not an alpha or beta thing, because there was someone who insisted the other way and he said, do you gravitate towards alphas or betas to me? That was another thing that triggered this video. And he kept insisting and I said, I'm not the typical woman example, not because I am better than anyone, but because I'm autistic and because of my upbringing and because of a bunch of other stuff. And my first priority is someone who is compatible to me, and I couldn't care less if the person identifies as alpha or beta at this point of my life. So what happens is that when you grow up, especially in America, I'm not American, so allow me to see things from an observer's viewpoint, and I'm going to focus on millennials. There was this extreme movement, I did research on that, on emphasizing self-confidence in children and the development of self-esteem, which is by itself as an idea not a bad thing at all, because of course you need self-esteem to develop your skills and your gifts in life, to excel, to take risks and so on. I'm going to mention Kim for a second, my Asian husband, who told me something that it was so outrageous that I was enraged for a day. He told me that his toxic parents, after he started failing in school and having, like in elementary school, extreme problems because of the abuse that was going on at home, their idea to fix that was to send him to a class that it was called a raising self-esteem class, where you repeat phrases like I'm worthy, I'm special, I'm unique, I can do whatever I want. And combine that with The Secret and similar books that, in my opinion, are giving you around 1/3 of the truth. I believe that you can manifest, I believe in the law of attraction, but the way this book presents it is pretty much magical thinking, that you are going to just sit there and close your eyes and things will appear, and it doesn't happen this way. This results in a problem that you may not see at first. It results in a bunch of people who think they are unique and special and they can do whatever they put their mind into. And I'm going to be black-pilled here for a second and allow me to do so. We live in a dystopia where we pretend that IQ doesn't matter, but it does actually greatly. There is this huge promotion of body positivity that started as a good thing and became toxic. I think that the right way to be body positive is to be the best version of yourself, to try to work with what you have, like emphasize your good points, and after that, after you make sure you're healthy, to hope for the best and not to just be like obese to the point that your life is in danger, or to have dysmorphic disorders and say, hey, this is who I am and you have to accept me. That's the sick version of it, and it ended up being this way more often than not. So we have a bunch of men, again I'm going to say most of them who contact me are Americans, who don't look good, who don't have high enough IQ to have achievements and stuff that, whether we like it or not, women gravitate towards men who have a lot of achievements because they have a lot of money. And most importantly, they have the personality of a dead fish. I'm sorry, this is how I see it. There are people whose only personality is one personality. It's like, do you see in The Matrix where you see Mr. Smith and Neo, that old movie where every Agent Smith was the exact same? I talk to thousands of people every month, and in so many cases it's like I talk to one person over and over and over. Usually that person has a dad bod, another word I hate, or is chubby, or is overweight, or is obese, has some kind of dead-end job that doesn't really enjoy or doesn't add anything to his life. He is eating junk food, he has no hobbies, and his main thing that he's doing on his free time is consuming media, playing games, watching movies, and consuming pornography. So when this person is like that, and he has this inflated ego that, oh my God, I'm so unique, I'm so special, everyone has been telling me. He also has one more problem. He doesn't know how to deal with failure in a healthy way. It's like when you've never learned to do anything like riding a bike or swimming or failing. You have to fall down and get up and fall down and get up until you eventually start to accept that, hey, failure is a part of life, no big deal. I'm falling, I'm going to get up and I'm going to try again, and eventually I'm going to get it. So when you are like that, you constantly feel wronged. You feel that you deserve women, you deserve sex, you deserve a wife, you deserve attention, you deserve admiration, although you bring absolutely freaking nothing to the freaking table. Which is, if you think about it, I'm sorry to say, but psychotic. For thousands of years, things were being done the right way in that area of life. If you were a man for thousands of years who was entitled to one woman or more than one, either you had to be exceptionally handsome, or you needed to have a lot of resources and power, or you needed to have some kind of skill that would put you in a position where women notice you and choose you. You're going to say, Persephone, you're just going to use biology to excuse female hypergamy, but I don't care. This is how it is. So recently, there was this tragic man on Reddit that he made a post on Our Dead Bedrooms saying that he decided to be in an open relationship with his wife who wants nothing to do with him. And no woman wanted him. And he went to escorts, and he went to cam girls, and he went to digital sex workers, and he said, all of those women are vile and they just wanted my money and then they threw me away. And by just wanting my money, he said, no one told me their real name, no one told me real information, no one was willing to invest in me. And this is honestly psychotic. This is like saying, I'm going to go to a restaurant and I'm going to sit down and order, let's say, spaghetti, and then I'm going to say to the chef, not only you are going to cook the food for me, but because I pay you, you are going to sit here with me and keep me company and listen about my day the same way you would do with your actual family members. I have been like, I'm never going to get tired of repeating to those men, sex work is a paid service. And women and men who are in this industry, they have to protect their identities because they're being stalked, because they are being harassed, because they have been assaulted, or things that you don't even want to know about. So when you go to a woman and you pay her for the girlfriend experience, she doesn't have the obligation to tell you her real name. The girlfriend experience isn't a trial stage for the quote-unquote girlfriend to see if she's going to date you. It's a fantasy. When some people asked this man how he looks like, he said he's in his 40s. He is short, he is bald, he is very overweight, and he also has a special needs kid, which is by all means not a problem, but the kid takes a huge part of his time. And you would say to this person, why don't you go to therapy, which is the healthy thing, to focus on how you're going to take better care of your kid and when your life is not a mess? Because he was also saying an alcoholic and coping with alcohol and drinking heavily. When your life is not a mess, to go out and date. This man, this tragic loser, felt entitled to cam girls and escorts and e-girls and I don't know what, although they are so far away from his league that they're in a different galaxy, not even in the same planetary system. And seeing more and more cases like that, I start to wonder, where is this coming from? And it's coming from that entitlement in your childhood, that your looks don't matter, your IQ doesn't matter, your extremely boring personality doesn't matter, and one day you are going to find a woman who is going to be this beautiful, perfect woman like the mother you never had, because a lot of them have also unmet maternal needs, and she's going to love you unconditionally. Yeah, that's not going to happen, and if you don't start paying attention to the second part of the video, you're going to die alone, and the neighbors are going to call the police. There is going to be a wall broken down in your apartment, and your corpse covered in maggots is going to be rushed out in the hospital. I'm not saying this to scare you. Someone has to tell those poor men the truth, because society just wants you dead, okay? I believe that in a lot of cases, society is a system that cares for its own preservation, doesn't care about you. That's a very big myth we have been sold, that society cares for you. It doesn't. okay? And especially if you are a single male who doesn't make much money, you are as disposable as the male bees in the beehive, that the first time there is a shortage of food in any beehive, those males are being thrown out to die, to starve. That's what's happening to you right now in this dystopia. Society is actually taking you away from the gene pool. I used to make videos 2 years ago, like remove yourself from the gene pool. Now you don't even have to do that, it happens automatically. The first thing you need to do, if you want to fix this, is accept there is a problem. If no woman pays attention to you, it's because either you are too ugly for them, or there are much better men around. For example, if I say one more unattractive guy using Tinder, Tinder is dominated by handsome men with big penises. You have no business there if you don't fit that description. Okay. Whatever you can do to fix your looks, you do it. I don't care if that's losing weight. I don't care if that's getting a hair transplant, which is much needed in many cases. I don't care if that's dieting. After that, you're going to have to work on developing a personality. No one wants to be around a passive consumer of media. Now you're going to say, because I get this comment every time, Persephone, you say that, but there are a lot of women who are very stupid, and there are a lot of women who only care about celebrities and they only care about Facebook, so why do I have to go this extra mile when those women are just stupid? First of all, those women, even a woman who is a 3 out of 10, she has 1,000 men begging her on inbox, so she has plenty of choices and you have none. So it's not a fairness type of thing. And second, because if you manage to date one of those stupid women, because she's stupid and you don't have a personality, you are going to have to constantly need to spend money to keep the relationship going. Like when you date a brain dead woman, you have to take her to dinner, you have to take her to the mall, you have to travel, you have to take her to vacation, you have to do things with her because she doesn't have hobbies on her own and she relies on you. So if you don't want to develop a personality, which you're going to have to some degree, but if you don't want to do that, you're going to have to focus on making a lot of money. Because, like I said, for me, I don't want to sound rude to people, but very often I see people and the only topic of conversation that they try to strike with me is my life. Like, what did I study? What is my channel doing? What are my plans? And if you try to ask them back, because I'm not a narcissist, I don't care to talk about myself, like, at least I don't have that narcissistic trait. They're like, oh, I just live with my mom and I have this part-time job, like working somewhere, like 9 to 5 death, and this is my friend, this is my dog, and that's about it. You can't keep me interested this way. And you can't keep any woman interested this way. You can pay her to pretend she's interested, yes, but you have to be aware that this is a temporary solution. And there are a lot of people who don't realize how boring they are, how dull they are, how they have nothing going. Of course, if you are so much into gaming, you can say, I want to find a gamer girlfriend, but gamer girlfriends are extremely high demand. Same with nerdy girlfriends, same with all of those girls who have tweets, but it has become softcore porn at this point in my opinion, but that's a topic for another video. So those women have thousands of men, again, groveling on their feet, so it's going to be very, very difficult to get such a girlfriend. And at the end of the day, what is wrong with dating within your lane? What is wrong with trying to date a woman who is about the same as you in looks? She's not this e-girl or cam girl or I don't know what. I think those men who behave like that, they self-sabotage, and I can make videos on how to appear more high IQ, how to improve your life, how to do that. Some of it is going to be on Patreon and OnlyFans. I'm sorry for that, but YouTube has been obsessed with putting limited monetization in my videos, and after all, this is a place where I'm also going to have to use the money to fund my own businesses and dreams, but still a significant part is going to be here. So if you take a look in the mirror, could you really say that you are a charming person, that you're a charismatic person, that you are even a polite person who can put a conversation together? In many of the times, men didn't even ask themselves these questions. They come and they say to you, what have you been up to? When a person says to me, what have you been up to, or how has your day been, I cut them off. I know it sounds extreme, but I feel like I have to entertain them. I have to come up with something that happened in my day to give them a conversation topic. And I don't have time for that. It's like 2021, I really don't have time for that. The good news are charisma and personality and being sociable are skills, not in a pick-up artist stupid way where you have to lie. But there are so many books, there are so many resources, videos on how to be more friendly, how to be more sociable, how to engage in a conversation that you can use to slowly teach yourself. And in many cases, this problem is intergenerational. Like, if your dad was the kind of guy who worked all day, like usually a boomer, and then he came home to watch TV and there was barely any interaction, Of course you are going to be like that. And if your mom was this controlling bitch who controlled everything in the house because you never got the chance to develop this skill. It's like I would expect you to speak French when no one taught you. I would expect you to play the violin when no one taught you. I don't. I'm just pointing out the problem here to give you a direction to start, because a lot of people are shocked when I say this. A lot of people say like, holy shit, really? And it goes beyond just pick-up artistry and things like that. Whether we like it or not, those are things that, for me, school is the most useless system. I never had a good opinion about school, but if you look at it now, we learn so many useless shit at school, and no one ever sat down with you for even a 1 hour per week class to teach you how to develop emotional intelligence, how to develop emotional IQ. Like, a woman is sad, how do you comfort her? A woman is upset, or how to know when she's interested in you. Most men have no idea about those things. And the guy in our story, the guy who started in our second story, in our second story, the guy who was asking me, like, are you interested in alphas or betas? I told him, you know how I feel about penis size, that anything below 5 inches is not enough, but just the penis size or just the height isn't enough for me. Like, I'm not going to make space in my very, very, very busy life for some random people because they are, let's say, 6 feet. And it really bothered him. And that was one more of the many, many, many people with what I call dead fish personality. And you don't want to be that. It's not going to do you any good. And developing those social skills is also good for your job. It's good for everything that you're going to need in your future. So please, especially if you are American, it's time to leave behind this snowflake brainwashing that they told you you're unique, you're a snowflake, you can put everything you put in your mind you can achieve. There are plenty of things you will never be able to achieve, and there are plenty of things I will never be able to achieve, and so what? One of the secrets behind my success is that I always emphasize on the things that I can do well, and I show you that, and I don't show you weaknesses, because when it comes to most weaknesses, I've been trying to overcome them for years and years and years, and I failed, and at some point I realized that there is no point trying on that when you could try on something that you can be good at. For example, when it comes to chit-chatting. I will never be able to be good at chit-chatting and enjoy it, but so what? So similarly, it's time you start emphasizing on your strengths and accepting there are things you're not good at, and that the people who told you you're special and the unique snowflake were also probably a victim of this propaganda on how to raise children, and they actually make you fail. Thank you for watching.